Hey everyone, this video is for December 7th and 8th. So I have one announcement for all of you, and I quickly just want to talk about how the remainder of the semester is going to go. After that, we are going to start our pathogens and disease final project that will take us to the end of the semester. I will assign all of you a pathogen to research, and then we will actually begin researching today in class. As far as the announcements go, I want to reiterate that the deadline for missing assignments and quizzes will be next week, next Wednesday, December 16th at 11:59 p.m. And as always, you should be checking your Skyward grades, not necessarily your Canvas grades. They might be a little different since we do things that are not on Canvas. And if there are any inconsistencies, like if you turned in an assignment but it still says it's missing, please let me know. This is not in the case of if you just turned in an assignment, why isn't it graded yet? But if I have it graded in Canvas but not in Skyward, or if you've turned it in a couple weeks ago and it's still not updated, please let me know. I have a lot of assignments and a lot of students, so things get kind of lost. So if you notice something that's not right with your grades, please, please, please reach out and let me know. For the remainder of the semester, this is what it's going to look like. So this week is going to be normal. We're going to be working on that final project. Next week will look a lot different. We'll still be finishing up the final project, and any time you have available will be to turn in any missing assignments that you have. But we'll only see each other once next week, or twice if you're Green Day. So here's the schedule for next week. Some of your flex teachers may have told you this on Friday. Unfortunately, I did not see my flex block, so my students did not see this. But each day, you'll just have 2 classes, and they'll be about 3 hours long. So on Monday, you'll all see your G1 and your G2 only. On Tuesday, you'll start with your R5 and R6. On Wednesday, you'll have G3 and G4. And on Thursday, you'll have R7 and R8. Our Friday, once that goes away, will be our normal Friday. So you'll go to your flex block, and then you'll go to your Green Day classes. If you have any questions about any of those, please let me know. I'll try to keep reminding you about this until that day comes. So for the pathogens and disease project, we'll go to Canvas. Once we're in Canvas, we'll go to our modules. Of course, this will be right at the bottom. Pathogens and disease final project, day 1, because today will be the first day that you work on it. So in this assignment page, I have 3 separate things. I have the introduction of the project, which is this, which we'll go over in a little bit. Today's assignment, so what I want you to have done by the end of the period today. And then here is going to be an Excel spreadsheet of your name and which pathogen was chosen for you. But I'll go over all of them here in a little bit. First, we have the document that introduces the project. So if you go to this little paper magnifying glass, it allows you to make it bigger or to preview the document. So to set up the scenario, the CDC, or the Center of Disease Control, has asked you, as a student expert, to create a profile on the pathogen that you have been assigned. So I will assign you a pathogen, and this is what you'll do with it. So you're going to create a profile in a Google slideshow. So it's just, you're going to collect a lot of information about this pathogen, and you're going to put it all together in one document. What you have to answer are these questions. What is the name of your pathogen? What type of pathogen do you have? So is it a bacteria, a virus, a fungus, or a protist? Sorry for the spelling error there. What are the signs and symptoms of your disorder or disease? How is your pathogen transmitted? So how do you get it? How long are you often sick with this pathogen for? How do you prevent from getting your pathogen? So how do you make sure that you do not get sick with it? And how do you treat a patient if they do get it? What kind of medicine would you use? We're also going to go over the severity of a disease, how it's often influenced by the environment. So you're going to pick one environmental factor, which could be temperature, habitat disruption, season, pollution, rain levels, whatever you'd like. And you're going to make a hypothesis on how you think it would influence this disease's transmission, so how it goes from one person to another. And then you're going to find a research source that either confirms or denies your hypothesis. We're going to go over this in a little bit more detail on Wednesday's lesson, but I did want to talk about how we are going to include this. You also need to provide at least one interesting fact associated with your pathogen. So, what was something that surprised you when you were researching? And of course, at least 3 images, at the very least 3. You can definitely add more if you'd like. The more, the merrier. And of course, you do need a slide that has your sources. So I kind of had you practice this when we were doing the bacteria versus viruses, the You Teach Me. So we're going to continue doing that here. So anytime you use a new website, make sure to copy the link into a slide. And that's it essentially for the project. Down here, I have a few possible pathogens. So in another document, I have numbered these 1 through 31. And as we go through and do our classes today and tomorrow, or at the 7th and the 8th, I will randomly select your pathogen for you. So I'll do that together. If you miss my class, I will randomly select it for you, and it'll be up somewhere, and I'll show you where that is, so don't worry about that. Down here, I have an example of the rubric. So this rubric is based off of 100 points. It's very difficult to see, so I am going to tweak it and kind of make it easier to read and change the points a little bit. I'm not going to give you a 100-point assignment when I've never given you a 100-point assignment, but it will look something similar to this. So you will have to make sure that your presentation and graphics are attractive and easy to read, that your content is accurate, that your grammar is good, that you're using class time to work on this, and that, of course, your slides are organized in a way that makes sense. To know which pathogen you were assigned, you'll go down here to this link. It says click here in case you forgot which pathogen you chose. So this is a Google Excel spreadsheet that will have your class period, your name, and what pathogen you were assigned. So down here are the different classes. At this point, we've only done G1 because I'm doing this video during G2. So here I have all of my students in that period, and we randomly selected these during the class period. So if you were in class, you knew exactly what pathogen you were getting. If you missed class, you will have one next to your name here. So just take a look at your name, and here's the pathogen next to it. In case it's a little confusing, this 2-word name that looks very weird because it's in Latin. This is an example of a scientific name. So the pathogen, the actual organism that causes disease is called Toxoplasma gondii. That's the actual name of the organism. Toxoplasmosis, or anything that's kind of like what we call things, malaria, oral thrush, those are examples of diseases. So I'll actually put that in here to make it a little easier to understand. Here's the pathogen, the organism, and here's the disease to help relieve any confusion. Today, what I really want you to focus on is just getting to know your pathogen. So you've been assigned your pathogen at this point, hopefully. So now it's time to just get to know it. What's the name? What kind of pathogen? How do you know you have it? How's it transmitted? So on and so forth. And then you're going to turn in the answers that you got. So if you were just collecting answers on a piece of paper like notes, or if you're just putting on a Google Doc, that's totally fine. If you started putting a Google Slides together already, you can turn that in as well. Just know that this is not the final product. I'm just making sure that you are getting the information that you should at a good time so you're not putting this off last minute. And that's it for what we did today. If you have any questions about the pathogens and disease final project, please let me know. Otherwise, have a great day.